One of the biggest lost opportunities is having great phone skills. That's this week on Think Tank Tuesday. Hi, I'm Potratz, and welcome to this week's Think Tank Tuesday. So let me set the stage for you. Let me tell you what was going on, because this is a story today, but a true story and something that you can learn when it comes to phone skills. Again, this is for real estate agents, but it works for anybody that has to use the phone to sell. All right, so here it is. Early this morning, the sunrise was coming up. I'm painting the picture of a beautiful sunrise today. I've got Alexa playing some music. I'm sitting there sipping the coffee, having coffee with my lovely wife, Christy, and her phone rings. And so she's like, oh, that's weird. It's kind of early. So she answers the phone, and it's a real estate agent, and which is great because we looked at a property yesterday evening. She called. She wanted more information about it. So he calls, which is great that he called that fast. So, hey, I'm returning your call about so-and-so property. She's like, oh, yeah, great. I was wanting to see, is it still available? And he said, oh, well, no, we've accepted an offer on it. And she's like, oh, okay, great, no problem. And then he proceeds to say, what would you like to schedule a time and take a look at it? And she's like, well, probably not if you've accepted an offer. And he said, well, yeah, but the deal might fall through. And she said, well, do you think the deal will fall through? And he says, well, legally, I can't tell you whether or not I think the deal will fall through. And she's like, okay, fair enough. So I understand you can't tell me that. So should we really take a look at it? Or, is it worth your time and my time? And he's like, oh, I don't know. But here's the conversation of what was happening and where it went wrong. So he calls, and here's something I want you to write down. So he calls, she answers the phone in her sweet, lovely voice that she's not talking fast, she's talking normal. And this guy's talking extremely loud and extremely fast. So by him doing that, I could see the blood pressure, her blood pressure and her intensity start to decline. That's the first mistake. So if you're a real estate agent, if you're a salesperson, that's what I want you to understand is when you're talking to someone on the phone, however they talk, however they communicate, you want to match it because it will make that person not feel rushed if they are talking at a normal pace, or if they talk fast, they won't think, if you're talking fast too, they won't think that you're kind of slow. All right, so that's the first step. So going through the conversation, and then so they kind of get to that part, and she said, all right, great, well, we probably shouldn't look at it, but question for you. Do you have any multifamily units or multifamily, investment properties with a cap rate of this and blah, blah, blah. She gave the details of what she was looking for. And he proceeds to say, I don't know. And she said, okay. He said, so what bank are you using? And she was like, what? And he said, what bank are you using? And she said, that depends. Well, what bank do you think you'll use? And she said, I normally use XYZ Bank. So right now, I see the conversation going really bad. Because she asked a specific question, he said, I don't know. When he should know, it's really easy you to look it up. So why was he going there? So use that as a word of advice. Don't go there. Answer the question that the individual's asking you. Then he proceeds to say, okay, well, is this going to be a cash deal or how much money do you put down? So she's like, okay, why does this matter? I was just interested. Do you have any multifamily properties? I understand completely what he was trying to do is he didn't want to waste his time, afraid that maybe the individual he was talking to couldn't do a deal, that he was going to waste time pulling some different properties or showing some properties and the person couldn't even get the deal done. I'm telling you right now, as a salesperson, there's a completely different way to do it. First step, match your voice to the individual. Second step is create a dialogue with the individual. Talk to them, ask them some questions. Let them lead the conversation, and then when they ask you a question, answer the question, and then expand on it.
Does your team need help on the phone? Give us a call at 866-242-1772, and we'll show you how to turn every call into a sales opportunity. Call now.
So this is how he could have done it correctly, and he could have created that trust, that loyalty. He could have had a great conversation and had some really good showings instead of getting hung up on. All right, a whole nother side note. All right, so there it is. He could have said, okay, hey, great, Christy. So you're looking at multifamily units of blank, blank, blank. You want a cap rate of this and all that. Question, is there a specific area that you would like to be in, or is there a specific area you already have properties in? And then she could have said, oh yeah, well, I already have properties in this area. Or she could have gone and said, well, I think this is the area I would like to be in. Okay, great. So you have properties in this area. Are you interested in any other areas, or do you want me to keep the focus to that area? She could have answered that, told him, and he'd say, okay, great. So you already have properties in this area? Oh, yes, I do. Okay, great. So question, I've got a number of friends that are investors, and how's it going? I mean, do you have an easy time renting in that area? Do you find it pretty easy? And then she could have said, oh yeah, I find it pretty easy, or I find it kind of difficult. Okay, great. Just so you know, I have friends that will manage the properties if you ever need that. Are you working with a property manager right now? Then she could have said, oh no, I'm not working with a property manager. Okay, have you ever considered that? Oh, no, I haven't. Okay, no problem. But he could have had a dialogue, a conversation, and by letting her lead the conversation, he could have led the conversation. Does that make sense what I'm saying to you? I hope so. By answering her questions, he could have posed another question to get more information from her, and it could have been a give and take conversation instead of him trying to find out, oh boy, is this person a deadbeat? Can they get financing? Do they have money? And all that, because that was not the way to do it. Instead, it's a two-way conversation. And here's a side note, as a salesperson, never, ever, ever lie. When you don't know the answer, just say, let me check into that, let me find out. Or if you do know the answer, never lie to make it in your benefit, because it's so easy for that individual to do a search, ask people on social media, and find out that you're lying. And if you're lying and they find out, all credibility's out the window. They are never going to trust you. And then here's another thing. And you're probably saying, oh, I would never do that on the phone. And I want you to really be honest with yourself. I want you to think about it and say, have you really never done that on the phone? Have you never had somebody that's trained you, or some manager that, walked out of the 1965 time warp and they thought that that's the way it should be done? So you want to be that client advocate. Anytime you talk to that prospective client, you want to become their advocate. You want to tell them, hey, I'm here to help you. I'm going to do whatever I can do to help you fulfill your needs, get what you want. And by doing that as a salesperson, I hate the word salesperson because there's a lot of people that got into sales because they had the gift of gab and they just don't understand psychology. But by finding out what they want out of life, what they want out of the experience, and you telling them you're going to do whatever it takes to give them that experience, that outcome, you become the advocate, you build the trust, they will refer you, they will return to you, and you will sell more, you will have more leads, more opportunities, you'll do a heck of a lot better. That's this week's tip, and I'll see you next week. But work on your phone skills, okay?